Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Dr. Ronda M. Lawson, and I am back with a new episode of the Horizons Author Lounge. And I have two of my faves here tonight. I'm so excited. I've been knowing both of these ladies for a really long time, but one of them I've been knowing for way longer. I mean, I'm talking college, so I'm excited about that. But I'm going to introduce you first to my first guest. She's kind of like my little partner in crime when it comes to the National Black Book Festival. She's the one who introduces the featured authors before I interview them. And so, you know, we kind of work out a little synergy there. And but what we probably don't have in common is what we write, because I like to write about love and fun and stuff like that. And she likes to write about that scary stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and bring on the tale of two Rondas. Ronda Lawson and Ronda Garcia Jackson. How you doing, ma'am?
Hey, I am good, Dr. Ronda. How are you?
I'm fabulous. I'm fabulous. Good. It's good to see you again.
Yes, it's always good to see you. Thank you for having me tonight.
Oh, we're going to have a good time tonight. But, you know, it's all about promoting the National Black Book Festival, because it's been going on for so long. And it really means a lot to me to participate and just getting more people to this festival, because there's so many great authors there, including yourself.
Yeah, thank you. I am a native Houstonian, and so the National Black Book Festival holds that part for me, because we don't have a whole lot of Houston-based literary events, and especially not one of this magnitude, not ones of this with this kind of a reputation. And so I'm always excited that you know, every year that we're going again, and I'm going, this is great, this is great. This is great.
I had a little bit of an issue there, but I'm back. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you okay.
Okay, great. So, uh-oh. Okay, I'm back. I fixed the problem. Can you hear me? Can you still hear me?
Yes, uh-huh.
Okay, perfect. All right, so like we were just talking about the authors who come to the National Black Book Festival. How long have you been working with the festival?
So I actually went to the very first one. And so I think that in the past, is it 18 years now? I might have missed
Yes.
one or so. I might have missed one or two.
Wow.
But yeah, but I've been hanging around. Once I saw the good stuff that the Richardsons and Chris City were doing, I decided that those were friends I needed to keep.
Absolutely. And I agree. I didn't start working with the festival until about, I believe, 7 years ago. I believe 2018 was my
Mm-hmm.
first one. And so yeah, I've been participating in it ever since then. I came on as the literary correspondent, and when I made the offer, I really was not, we really had not defined what a literary correspondent would be. I was just thinking that I would interview her authors, like, kind of like what we're doing now.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't know that she would want me to do live interviews at the festival. And it wound up, I think, turning out into a really good thing.
Oh yeah, I think so. I mean, because as much as you want to talk to your favorite authors, also when you're an author, you're there to work technically, right? And so
Yes.
you're supposed to be at your own table. So you want to hear these interviews. You want to be able to see them because we are big readers ourselves. And so we want to be able to know that somebody has interviewed our favorites. And so,
Yes.
as an author, I'm excited about that. So I thank you for doing that so that I could actually see the interviews too.
Yeah, and we've been doing better with even live streaming them, so even people who are at home can get to know their favorite authors as well.
Oh yeah, that's always a good thing. Always, always.
So now, you're not there just to work. You are actually promoting your own books. So before we go into that, I was telling everybody before you came on, I said you write the scary stuff. So let's talk a little bit about that. Like, who is Rhonda Garcia Jackson, and what types of books do you write?
Oh, so I'm the resident creepy girl. I I embrace it. It's fine. I tell the ladies all the time that my people would know where to find me, and we laugh about it. But like when people walk into one of our places where we have our books, I can kind of go, "Yep, those are my people, and those are my people," and where our eyes meet across the room, and we have a good spooky time. So I typically write horror. I actually do write romance, also, just not as much these days because horror is the thing that I'm apparently like better at. And so I write a lot about horror, the intersections of race and gender and class in the horror genre. So just kind of think anything that can be spooky, I probably have a spooky story for it. And for those things that are not so spooky, I can probably make them so.
What got you into writing horror?
Um, so like uh like we talked about, I'm a native Southerner, so I've been in Houston my whole life, and I was raised up in a reading household, where my mom and daddy read a lot. So my mama read a lot of romance. They knew to keep that away from us as kids, because I would read anything that was in hand that I could reach. But they kind of didn't think about that I might actually read the Stephen King novels if they left those out. So I was always drawn to like the Edgar Allan Poe, and the tragic ending of Little Women. And so anything that was kind of dark or spooky, I was always so inquisitive. So I actually rated my daddy's horror comic books, his horror novels, his science fiction books and things like that. And so I just found that horror was a better vehicle for me to talk about the stuff that, not just the stuff that bothers me, but the stuff
Right.
that I see in the world. Because I find that it's a really good vehicle to teach people stuff. Like people don't always know about the horrors that are inherent in certain things. And so I kind of feel like it's my job to show people those what's underneath the dark, what's in the shadows, what's in the corners.
Right. And there's an audience for it. I mean, I think people forget that there is a core audience who wants to read this. I mean, everything's not about sunshine and flowers.
Right. Well, I mean, and the thing that's really something is when I was younger, people would have me think, oh no, Black girls don't read horror. They really shouldn't be writing it. And I'm like, but I am a Black girl. I am reading it. I am writing it.
Right.
And so I remember that there was this one, there's a fellow writer, Samiko Salson, who had
Mm.
done like this series of interviews with, let's say, 50 Black women in horror. They have now just put out the most recent iteration of that with 160 plus Black women in horror. So we're out there. I think that either sometimes people don't see us or they might not know that it's us writing. Like I write under a pseudonym, RJ Joseph. And so,
Yeah.
you know, people might be reading stuff by, you know, spooky Black girls and they don't know that they're a part of their audience.
Spooky Black girls. So you have a new book coming out.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. So the latest book just came out on the 14th, which is just a few days ago. It is an illustrated chapbook called Maelstrom by Rapture Publishing. When I say that that art is just beautiful, and I hate that I did like the number one taboo on like
Uh-oh.
author, you know, marketing, and I did not bring a copy of it. Um, but it is absolutely gorgeous. The author who does these illustrated chapbooks was so inspired by the story, and when I say he made that girl on the cover look so spooky,
Mm.
she's so beautiful. So it is a historical vampire story. So if you kind of dig
Ooh.
that type of thing, plus the collectible art, like this is literal art that is original to the story. So I would say go pick that up.
So the book is actually available now.
The book is available now from Rapture Publishing. And then I have a kind of a 1-2 punch going because there's also one coming out next month that is still on out for pre-order by Pandy Press. It is an anthology of four of us women in horror who wrote a
Ooh.
different one. That one was edited by Brian Keene, who in horror circles, I mean, you got to know Keene's work. You know, that's Mr. Horror Godfather himself. And he actually did the editing on our anthology. And so this book will be in a box offered by Pandy Press next month in November. So these two are really special items because they're only offered through the publisher. But I think that that's what makes them even more wonderful because you can kind of go get something special that other people won't have unless they order the same.
Wow. So, well, I'm picturing because I'm picturing, books like this, but you
Uh-huh.
said this is going to be an illustrative chat book.
Yeah.
So, well, okay, yeah. So I want to know about that, but then I also want to know about the anthology. But let's start with the chat book.
Okay, so the chapbook is it is a single author, and so what this publisher has specialized in is original art for the story in that book. And so then he offers limited editions, so there are numbered and lettered editions, but all the art is specially commissioned for that particular book. So you won't find this artwork or this story anywhere else except here in this chapbook collection. So it's kind of targeted towards collectors who may not necessarily have $700 to spend on a collector's edition,
Right, right.
but who do have maybe $75 that they would want to spend on such a thing. And because it's kind of it's a really niche market because you have people who love art who might want it for the artwork, but then you have people who love stories who might want it for the story. And then, of course, there are the people like me who I want the story and the art, especially when it's original art. So
Yeah.
that's where this publisher has really fallen into a wonderful niche for them. And they do a great job.
It seems like that would be difficult to put together, not because it would be hard to write, but you're creating the story, but then you have to find the right artist. It's kind of what a cartoonist, or excuse me, not a cartoonist, but a children's author has to go through. But this is a little bit different because it's not going to be, I guess, as bright as a children's book would be.
Right. Well, so the really good thing about Mitch is the publisher that who heads up this publishing house is that he did a lot of research ahead of time, and so he was kind of looking at what's out there, what's not out there, and he has partnered with this artist, Chris Panettiere, who is just, you know how some people you look at and you go, is there anything you can't do? Is there anything? Chris is a lawyer. Chris is a phenomenal artist. Chris is also
Wow.
a writer himself. And so what he does is Mitch does the acquisitions and then he shares the story with Chris. And Chris's artistic eye goes to what images he can pull from that story. And when it comes to these chapbooks, I mean, I can personally say when it comes to mine, he literally pulled out exactly what was in my mind's eye. But of course, he made it better because I'm not an artist. So I think it
That is
helps
so
to,
cool.
yeah, so that they so Mitch did Ed Rapture did his homework and he got an artist that can just tap into anything. I mean, he's brilliant. And so when I say this black girl vampire looks like a black girl vampire, oh,
Lovely.
she is gorgeous. You can see the texture in her hair and everything.
Okay. Now, are you going to have this book available this weekend?
I am hoping to have it. So of course we are at the mercy of like the
Of course.
shipping. Yeah, right. So I'm really hoping to have it. That's just down to, let's hope that the shipping gods and goddesses kind of shine on me. So I'm hoping to have it. And if not, of course, I'll have all other manners of spooky things going on too.
Well, what else? What other manners of spooky things are we talking about?
Oh, well, so I will have my Shirley Jackson and Bram Stoker Award nominated collection. I don't travel
Mm.
anywhere without her. She's such a cool little word baby. And she seems to be a fan favorite. But the good thing is, since I write short form mostly, I am in a lot of anthologies, in a lot of different poetry collections. So I have work in there where people can get a really good taste of what it is that I do. But they can also be introduced to a lot of other horror writers too. So I'll have some of those anthologies on hand, those poetry collections. We just had a new poetry collection put out by the Horror Writers Association. Where I have a poem in it. And when I say I got about halfway through the book and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like everybody needs to have this, not just because my poem is in it, but because of the other work that's there.
That is so cool. I love the fact that you're not just writing, but you are out there networking and you are part of these organizations. So, which actually helps you to expand your art a bit.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Well, and that, even though the National Black Book Festival, we talk about it as this event, it's actually a year-long thing, right?
Yeah.
And so that is one of the groups that I am always in connection with. I learn a lot from the group there at the NBBF. I am a member of the Horror Writers Association. I'm a member of a couple of academic associations because it's really important, to kind of stick around with your people to know what's going on in your field, what's going on in, publishing as a whole, what's going on in the horror genre, what's going on in education.
Mhm.
I'm kind of inquisitive that way. So I kind of like to know. So yes, I'm going to be in the groups where I can be in the know.
Nothing wrong with that. If you're going to be in the industry, then you should be in the industry.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, do you normally get, I'm sure you do, get a lot of up and coming horror authors who maybe reach out to you because you've been doing this for a while now. When did you first publish?
Well, okay, at the risk of dating myself, my first
Uh-oh.
my first horror story was published in 1993.
Wow. Okay. I didn't realize it was 93.
Yeah. So there's that thing though. So I was writing romance more openly. Here's a little black girl in Texas. I was raised Southern Baptist. It's okay for you to write about the love stuff. Nobody really knew what to do with the horror stuff. So I kind of just wrote that and kind of kept it close to the vest. But yeah, I've been writing for quite a long time, publishing for quite a long time. And I think that the biggest thing that I get from newer horror writers, especially those of color, I don't think that they realize that it is going to be there will be a few more obstacles in the way if you are from a marginalized group and you're wanting to do this. But like I tell them, none of us just came up yesterday.
Right.
We have been doing this for quite a while. And so the reason why we're gaining traction now is because we never quit. So that's my biggest advice to up and coming writers, especially in this horror genre. Don't quit. Like, only, your voice was made to tell the stories that only you can tell. And so there's nobody else who can tell your story the way that you can. So just stick around. A lot of this job is not just talent. A lot of it is just stick to itiveness. If you stick around long enough, people will start to say, oh, wait, there she is. Let's ask her to come to this thing or be at that thing, because you've never gone anywhere. Our readers are fickle, right? And so if you disappear for a little while, nobody's going to remember you. You cannot disappear. You got to stay
Right.
around.
You have to stay around.
Yeah.
I always think back to Alicia Keys. She had this commercial when she first became famous, or when we knew who she was, with
Mm-hmm.
I Keep on Falling in Love with You. Falling, that was the
Uh-huh.
name of it. And she had this commercial that says, to the people who don't know that my overnight success was actually 7 years in the making.
Right.
Yeah, so you do have to stick with it. And people are always going to see the glory, but they don't always know the story behind it. Very few people are famous right out of the box, out of the
Right.
blocks. You have to work toward it, and then keep tweaking at it, keep getting better. You can't just put out junk and think everybody's going to buy it. You know?
Exactly. Oh no, and that's a great point that I probably should also say. Don't just stick around, but stick around learning and stick around
Yes,
doing better, right? Like, you can't, I mean, nobody wants to waste their money. Money is too hard to come by nowadays. So yeah,
absolutely.
you always have to stay in tune. You also want to be a really good community citizen. So you want to be a
Mhm.
good writing community partner. Like, you want to read other people's work. You want to talk about other people's work. And I think that that's one thing that people are struck by when they talk to me, because even if what I write is not for them, I can always tell them somebody's whose is, because I read very widely, not just in the horror genre, but as a whole. So I can let you know, oh, if you like this kind of stuff, you can check out this writer, or if you like that kind of stuff, you can check out that writer, because it hurts me.
Girl,
It does not hurt me at all for you to be reading books,
right.
period. I just want
Well,
to read.
you know how much of a unicorn you are? I mean, it's amazing how many authors out there who do not read other authors. They barely read their own books. But, they want to continue to write and write and write, but they're not pouring into the industry. They're only trying to take from the industry.
Yeah, well, but see, that's the one thing. First of all, you can only become a better writer by being a better reader. You don't
Yes.
know how language goes. You don't know what things can be done with it until you actually practice the craft. It's a craft. Like, there's no magic to it. It's a study, just like other stuff. But I also think that a part of that energy is one of the reasons why I am still here, because I am very authentic and genuine when I say that. When I say, it's okay if you're not reading my books, I'm just glad you're reading. If I say, listen, Dr. Ronda writes about these things, go pick up one of her books. In my mind, that's a win for all of us, because somebody is reading more work, right? So
Yes.
so that's important for all of us. I mean, a rising tide floats all boats.
Amen. Amen. Now, I know we only have a couple minutes left, but I did want to hear more about the anthology. Who were the authors who participated in this anthology with you?
Okay, so Brian Keene pulled together Laurel Hightower and Gemma Amore and Haley Piper, and so these are some of my favorite women in horror today. When I say I love everything that these ladies write, so to see that we're in an anthology together with all brand new work, like, as a fan, I am super excited. And then of course we had Brian's his editorial as the introduction, and then the the other book in this Pandy Pack is a curation of his best work. So when I say, if you look at my home library, you see tons of books by Brian Keene. And so when I say I'm just tickled to have this collection, this whole grouping of some of his best work, along with these brand new novellas by us women in horror, it's so exciting.
It sounds really diverse too.
It is very diverse, and that's one thing I learned from the best. So I learned from people in this industry who are paying it forward, and that's one thing that our horror godfather Brian Keene does. He pays it forward. So I feel like if someone like him can do that, the very least that I could do is pay it forward to other writers who are coming up behind me.
Love that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's just I did not get here by myself. Like I got here because of the grace that came ahead. And if I want to make sure that our legacies stay here and that we still train up new writers, well then I'm going to do the same for them.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I love it. I love it. Well, I've got to put this poster up before you leave because you and I are going to be working together on these featured authors
Yes.
at the National Black Book Festival. And I want to make sure, first of all, that everybody visits your table. But I want everybody to see the authors that we are going to be interviewing. I'm so excited.
Yes.
Yeah. I got a funny story about April Ryan because I actually ran into her last year at an event at the National Harbor here in the DC area. Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize it was her. She wasn't all dressed up and everything. And she was selling her candles. She sells these really nice candles. And so she had a booth where she was selling her candles. And I'm, me being me being Dr. Ronda, I was like, so do you have a book? She said, I have 5 books. I said, oh, you should come on my show. And I just started talking about everything that I do. And she didn't say anything. She's like, oh, okay. And then I went to look at her candles, and there was a picture of April Ryan. And I looked, and then her husband was on the other side of the table. And I said, that's April Ryan? She said, yeah. Yeah. I said, why you didn't say anything? She said, well, what am I supposed to say? I said, well, I'm going to be interviewing you at the National Black Book Festival.
Yes. Oh, I love it. So that was already happening, right?
Yes. Because she was supposed to come last year.
Yes.
And she couldn't come last year, so she's coming this year. So I'm excited to interview her. And then you may have seen Eric LaSalle on the poster. I'm excited about interviewing him. Yeah. And I am going to try very hard not to say Soul Glow during the interview.
It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard not to
I know. We're gonna talk about the doctor show.
Yes.
But I will say that I did read his first book, and oh my goodness, you want to talk about scary? That's the book you need to read. That book had me clutching my pearls.
I love it. Oh, I love it.
Yes. So I'm looking forward to talking to him. But yeah, we have 7 authors we're going to be interviewing this year. And that's on Saturday. So, we're also going to be interviewing authors on Friday as well. So it's going to be an action-packed schedule. So I hope everybody comes out to the National Black Book Festival at Fallbrook Church. It's on Friday and Saturday. And we're going to have a good old time.
We are. We're going to have such a good time.
Yeah. Well, Rhonda, I want to thank you for joining me tonight, helping me to promote the National Black Book Festival. I can't wait to see you this weekend. I'm just going to say that.
Yes, thank you. You travel safely, and I'll be excited when you get here, sister.
All right, now let's do this.
Okay, take care. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, y'all. That was Rhonda Garcia Jackson. She is the author of I'll just say she's a horror author. And remember, she has the new chat book coming out. She has the horror anthology coming out, and all of those books will be, hopefully, fingers crossed, will be at the National Black Book Festival. Now, before we jump to the next author, I've got to let you know about the really cool things that are happening. So we have the Black History Month Literary Weekend which is coming up in February in New Orleans. So I just need to show you this promo because that's going to help me to bring in our next amazing author. So we can go ahead and roll it. Get ready for New Orleans. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Dr. Ronda M. Lawson, and I am personally inviting you to save the date for the 2026 Black History Month Literary Weekend. This February marks 10 years of celebrating literacy and our history, and we're taking it back to New Orleans where it all began. Join us and meet these amazing authors: Michelle Knight, Royce Dixon, Chef Diana Riley, Lillian Joseph, Dr. Audrey Ann Moses, Dr. Emily Woolcock, Dr. LaTracy McDonald, Mark Beausejour, Eloja Hadley, Kevin Wayne Johnson, Tori Q. Jones, Marvin O'Brien, Karen Stampley, and Michelle Roney. February 19th through the 21st, we're taking over New Orleans for an unforgettable weekend of books, brilliance, and Black excellence. Stay tuned. Early bird tickets start December 1st. For more information, visit www.mtwimagesolutions.com. So yes, we literary weekend to New Orleans, and one of the authors who will be joining me there is joining me tonight. So please help me welcome Ms. Lillian Ebanks Joseph. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm so excited to have you on that show. And I don't know if you have been able to see that promo yet, but I thought it was a great way to bring you on.
Absolutely. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be one of the featured authors. So yes. And to have the opportunity to go back home to New Orleans, never ever skip out on a chance to do that. So I was excited to see that you're bringing it back where it all started.
Amen to that. And I just want to publicly congratulate you because you had an idea that was just a few months ago. It was just a concept. You didn't know how it would look. You didn't know exactly where you wanted to go, but you called me and you said, I have this idea. And then we made this happen. All I did was just kind of stand back and I just consulted where I could, but you actually made this happen. You took it from concept to something totally real that everybody's going to be able to see this weekend at the National Black Book Festival.
Yes, I tell you, they say, tell God your plans, and that's an opportunity to make him laugh. Because in my mind, I was just merely trying to think ahead because here I am, 50 plus, and, retirement is in view. And so I said, well, 5 years is not a very long time from now. And I didn't want to wait until retirement to figure out what that would be. So about almost 10 years ago, my husband and I, Patrick, we actually had a tutoring business. And so we were tutoring kids from 12 to K. From K to 12, and had to put that on the side. And so I said, wow, what great way. Perhaps what I can do is relaunch my tutoring business, which is Solutions for Tomorrow. And so in talking with a very good friend of mine, a classmate, Dr. Lynn. And so she said, well, hey, I'm going to be your accountability partner. And so we're going to come up with a roadmap. And so that's what we're doing. And so she said, you know what? You should consider writing a book, a children's book. I was like, a children's book? What are you talking about? A children's book? And so she said, yeah, absolutely. And so I said, well, what would I talk about? And she said, Lillian, you have 30 years of experience in the STEM industry. And I said, you know what? You're absolutely right. And so that night I went to bed and literally the wheels were just turning. And I just got up and just literally just started typing all the ideas and the concepts and the different topics, and decided, hey, I'm going to write a children's story loosely based on my life. And so here we are. My plan was to hopefully have it done by September, but it just worked its way out that it's actually coming out the same week as the National Black Book Festival. And so clearly that was by no accident that we're here today.
Awesome. Now you got to show it to us.
So this is actually the proof. I was so excited. It arrived on Friday. And so the name of my book is Lizzie Finds Her Spark. And it's the story of a little Afro-Latina girl growing up in New Orleans, Louisiana, which is obviously my home. And she's just trying to figure out what is it that she wants to be when she grows up. Because her mom, she moved here to the United States back in the, very long time ago. And so she's just trying to figure out, well, how can I, find something? She really loves math. She really loves science. And how can she turn that into a career, but yet one that's meaningful enough that will help her mom out? So, but yeah, it came in Friday.
That you had?
I'm sorry?
No, I was just saying those were the dreams that you actually had when you were a child.
Which dreams are those?
Being able to help your mom.
So, it's funny. That's very true. As I talk to some of my beta readers, their question obviously is, well, what parts of the story is actually true? And to be quite honest, it's just about all of it is. I had to kind of put a little spin on it to make it interesting enough that people would want to read it, specifically kids. But yeah, that was always a big incentive, or I should say motivation, as I was trying to figure out what I wanted to be, because, she had 3 strikes against her coming to, back in the 60s. Desegregation in New Orleans, it was real, and being a woman of color, a Black woman of color, and being a foreigner and a woman, it was like 3 strikes before she even walked up to the baseball bat to swing.
Right.
So I saw her struggles, and so that was truly the inspiration to find something. And clearly, as you read the book and we talk a little bit further, how I actually stumbled upon engineering, because really, I was planning to major in pharmacy. So.
Oh, okay. And the baby Lizzie was also thinking about being a pharmacist.
That's right. And even before a pharmacist, and yet again, you talk about the elements of the story that's real. We didn't have a car when I was growing up. And so RETA, as we affectionately know, the Regional Transportation Authority, the transportation system in New Orleans,
Mm-hmm.
that's how we got around the city, everywhere, school, work, church. And so, children gravitating toward the things that they see. And I was like, you know what? I want to be a bus driver, because that's what I rode every day, and I saw how it was an opportunity to help people, and to those that needed a little more time. Sometimes the bus drivers would wait, and then there was some that would just pass you up. And I said, no, I'm going to make a difference, and I'm going to be one of those nice bus drivers. So
I used to always picture the bus driver saying, "Watch me make them run."
Yeah. And then pull off.
Oh my goodness, those were the days.
Yes. So it's amazing to see how you come from wanting to be that bus driver.
Yes.
And in the story, I've changed it from a bus driver to a streetcar driver, because obviously streetcar is a little more exciting. And so here I am today as an engineer. So.
Beautiful. Now, the story centers around a girl, Lizzie, of course.
Yes.
But anybody, a boy or a girl, could get a lot from this story and walk away feeling inspired.
Absolutely. And that was really one of the things about the story. We really wanted, obviously, to have representation that you have this little Afro-Latino girl. However, but we wanted where it would touch all students from every walk of life, not only girls, but young boys. And as a matter of fact, we talk about the, I guess that's a great lead into the Spark STEM Squad. And
Yes.
one of her pals or her friends that's a member of the squad is Ryan. and he's truly amazing. And if I hadn't mentioned it, Lizzie is, I got the name, I decided to use that name for my character because my mother's middle name was Elizabeth. And my mother-in-law, her middle name is also Elizabeth. So that's how I came about with Lizzie. And so Ryan, quite honestly, in real life, that character is based on my husband. And but I named him, or I named Ryan after my stepson, whose name is Caleb, but his middle name is Ryan. So
Oh,
yes.
nice, nice.
Mhm.
I'll say this story is a celebration of so many things because it's a celebration of a young girl evolving into what she wants to be in life. It's a celebration of New Orleans. It's even a celebration of foods. You had a lot of foods being mentioned in the story. Sometimes you
Absolutely,
make me kind of hungry.
absolutely. Yeah, so I made mention of my beta readers, and I had a group of, wide group of kids from various backgrounds, and so a lot of them asked questions about these different foods. And so, as I made mention, the story is based in New Orleans, and I currently live in Houston, Texas, and have been here a little over 20 years. And it's close enough, but yet it's still far enough. And sometimes it can be a little challenging finding those all the favorite things that we eat and enjoy here in Houston. And so when we go home to visit, clearly we have the things that we like to eat. As you'll read in the story, we talk about po' boys and gumbo and beignet, who I actually named our doodle after my favorite dessert is beignet. And so, New Orleans is so rich in culture and very known for its food. And so I just wanted the reader, if they've never been to New Orleans, that they just got a sense of, well, if there's anything, I definitely want to go to New Orleans. I definitely want to go and experience the food. So,
Yes, yeah. I mean, you just can't beat the food, and I know that food critic, that Instagram food critic, tried to start some trouble talking about the best food in Louisiana is not in New Orleans; it's actually in Lafayette. I think he started a
oh,
fight.
no. Maybe he just didn't visit the right
I
restaurants.
think
But
that's what it was because the places
yes,
he went to, I had never even heard of. I'm like, where
yes,
are these places?
yes, exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
And
he
some
didn't
of
ask the right people.
That's right. And some of the best restaurants, people when they visit, they talk about those restaurants in the French Quarters, and I'm like,
Yeah,
you don't have to go to the
you,
French Quarters to
you
find
have to
some
leave the
extremely
tourist
good.
district.
That's right. That's right. I'll tell you, some of the best foods are right at the gas station, but that's a whole
Ooh,
nother subject.
don't get me started. That's where you're gonna get the best po' boys.
Exactly, exactly, exactly.
So now another celebration is there are different aspects of your life that you have embedded within the story.
Mhm.
And I'm talking not just where you're from, but the organizations that you're with. Um, the I could tell the love between you and your mom was very apparent throughout
Mhm.
throughout the entire story. But
Mhm.
that last page, I don't know if you want that to be a surprise, but
No,
I'm
I
just gonna
do. I
say
want it to be a surprise.
yes.
I do.
I'm just gonna say that last page is
It's
everything.
everything. It just ties it all together. But I will give a little hint, when you talk about the organizations that are very near and dear to me. And I am a very, very proud member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. And so, of course, I certainly had to give a lot of love to my sorority because it's so near and dear. And being a 30 plus year member, um, it's shaped and grown me in so many ways. And so I had to show some love to my sorors. And not to mention, I am also a member of the Mystic Crew of Femme Fatale, which is an all-female crew that rides in New Orleans, in Orleans Parish. and joined that organization in 2015 and have been riding every year with the exception of COVID year ever since. And we're getting ready to gear up for our next parade in February. And so there's a little bit of shout out to Femme Fatale as well. So, but like you said, that last page is just everything. And last but certainly not least, I also graduated from the McDonough 35 senior high school. And there's a huge, huge shout out to them as well. So,
Yes, and I just love the way you baked all of that in together. It didn't stop the story.
yes. If anything, it definitely should have sparked curiosity. And if I didn't say it already, I'll say it now. Lizzie Finds Her Spark. This is the first. It's the first adventure of the Spark STEM Squad series. And the intent is, this was just the beginning, and there are a lot more stories to come. So
Wonderful. Now, this book is also kind of a launching pad for a bigger thing that you have going on. You have the book, and I know you want to mentor more children of color, especially young girls of color, to get into the STEM arena, the STEM industry,
yes.
especially engineering. So what you have a launching pad. So it's the Spark STEM Squad, but what else is going on?
So, just kind of stepping back, as I made mention, as I thought about, well, hey, what am I going to do in retirement? And going back to the tutoring company and the STEM resources side of that. And so one of the things that I was actually planning to do was to have a week-long STEM camp for girls. Nice. And wanted to call that STEM camp STEM Girls Rock. And so, as I made mention earlier, I had to put that all on hold. But as we started thinking about this book and how it could pivot, not only just reaching children through a book and boosting literacy and their spark and curiosity for STEM, but how could I take it a step further? And so the idea of birthing a nonprofit called STEM Girls Rock is the next thing that's on the horizon, or I should actually say it's actually working in parallel. And so really there, the tagline is igniting sparks in all learners, but empowering girls. Because although the name is STEM Girls Rock, the intent here is to really be inclusive and inviting young boys, because guess what? We need more young boys, regardless of color, regardless of background. We need more boys, but specifically our Black and brown boys and our Black and brown girls in that STEM pipeline. Because, as I may mention, children tend to gravitate towards what they see. And so if they see someone like myself and they see others, and the concept here is to bring more of those professionals, actually have those roundtable discussions, have those STEM Saturday events where they're doing some hands-on experiments, and the recognition that, what, STEM, as some people may think it's pretty boring, or, well, hey, I'm not quite sure what it is. And the recognition that really STEM is just all around them. And just bringing that to the market, the forefront, and making a lot of people aware. And so that's my nonprofit that come next year, 2020.
Beautiful goal.
Yes.
That's a beautiful goal, because I'm really glad to see more of a movement towards STEM. I don't know that when I was growing up there was as big a movement towards STEM, which is probably why I gravitated more toward the creative environment.
Yes.
But just to see so many people pushing children of color to get into engineering, to find a more of an interest in math and computers and coding and so forth.
Right.
It's really going to do nothing but set our kids up for success.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there are a lot of amazing foundations, a lot of organizations that are doing extremely good work. And there's clearly opportunity to continue that and to do even more. And so, when you talk to kids and it's like, well, what is STEM? Because, back then, STEM wasn't really a thing. Like you said, now it is. And it's been branded as such. But when I speak to some kids and I talk to some parents and they have interest and they're kind of moving, kind of guiding their kids in that direction, they'll say, well, hey, I'm not very, my child, he or she, they're not very comfortable with math. I'm like, well, you know what? It takes practice, it takes commitment. And if that's something that you really want to do, then you really have to work hard at it and be intentional. And so, even you think about athletics and some of our famous athletes, they didn't just wake up one morning and say, hey, I'm going to be a famous basketball player. Or, hey, I'm going to be the next best quarterback. I mean, they put in the work, went to camps, and took themselves and put in the extra time of really exercising and building those muscles. And so the same thing for STEM. We want to build that big muscle that we have up here and just work at it.
Yeah, and it's like we were saying earlier with the first guest, how we were talking about, sticking with it, continuing to learn, continuing to hone your craft. Because just like I was mentioning with Alicia Keys when she said her overnight success was 7 years in the making. This is the same. It sounds like the message is the same when it
Yes,
comes to STEM. You have to continue to work at it,
you do.
continue to get
You do.
better, and then stick with it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll give one last little story on that. And I share this with kids. Some of the students that I've mentored around math. I did very well in math in high school, but man, when it came time to take that ACT test, oh my God, kicked my butt. I mean, I was scoring single digits on math, and you're like,
Wow.
oh my gosh. And I had to take the ACT like 3 or 4 times to finally get a 20 in order to be eligible to qualify, or I should say, qualify for a scholarship at Xavier. And because of that, I had to take remedial math, you know. But I'll say this, what the remedial math class did for me was it gave me a chance to brush up on a lot of those key topics, those things that I really need that to help me to fortify and firm up my foundation for mathematics. And guess what? I had a 4.0 in math in every math class I ever took. Okay. So
Yes,
just
yes. I
because,
mean,
you know,
there's no shame in it. I mean, it was probably you probably felt shame at the time, but
yes, yes,
had you not just gone ahead and just done it, if you would have said, "I refuse, I'm never going to do it," would
that's
do you
right.
think you would have gotten that 4.0 later on?
Okay, there it is. And that's the thing. And I'll tell you, talk about the shame, but it's okay because everything that happens, it happens for a reason. And at the time, you don't understand it, but as you're going through it, but I said in retrospect, in hindsight, I was like, God was just setting me up for something far more greater. And so
Amen.
it was the foundation that block that I needed. So
Amen. And here you are today. You're retiring in a few years. You're now an
oh,
author. You
yes.
you are mentoring. This is a beautiful full circle moment.
It really is. And I tell you, I would have never thought, adding to my name or my titles, the title of author. Um, it has truly been a journey. And I just want to publicly just acknowledge you right now, Dr. Ronda. I mean, this lady has, held my hand throughout this process, my writing coach, my editing coach. And here we are getting ready to produce to the world, make everyone where it's available to everyone to purchase. And it's a beautiful story. And I thank you for being a part of that process because I could not have done it by myself. There's so many, and I'll tell you, there's so many YouTubers and Facebookers and people out there that are trying to sell you ways to get rich quickly through books, through AI. You know, they'll tell you how you can just put in a topic and boom, it can write a book and print pictures. And no, you know, and all of that was very good. I use it in my fact gathering and research and got a lot of really good tips. But that at the end of the day, making that investment and having you as a coach, I don't think I could have produced this product like that we have today. So thank you. Just want to publicly make sure people know that.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm I'm telling you, it was a journey for both of us, and I was really glad to be a part of it. I mean, I learned some things along the way. I was glad to be able to share some things with you along the way, but you really put in the work. And it was just a pleasure just watching you. You did not look at this as, all right, this is going to be my side hustle, or this is just something I want to throw together. You put real work into this, real effort into this, and it showed. And I think that if you were to decide to do your next book, which I know soon you're going to start on your next book, you're going to take everything that you learned and you're going to apply it to this book, and the process is going to probably be so much faster because of what we
Oh,
were able to accomplish this first time.
yes. And that's what I was talking about, God's timing, because it just felt like it was just moving so slow. And, I had to spend the time doing the research and just deciding on what audience I wanted to target. And, I'm a very visual person. And so I was like, hey, I want this. This is a chapter book. My age range is 8 to 12. And I want to have pictures. And you're like, well, no, chapter books, it's just really just a lot of words. I was like, I want pictures in my book. Not only do I want pictures, they must be colored. And I'll tell you, and I'm going to give a shout out to my illustrator, Zana Kubosa.
Oh, she did her
She,
thing.
oh my God, she is amazing. I literally, she just took the words and I mean, just breathe life into those characters in those scenes. So I don't want to tell too much, but you got to go out and buy this book. The official release date is October 28th, but pre-orders will be available. The option to pre-order here very soon. So
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So yes, come out to the National Black Book Festival. Come meet Lillian. She's going to have at least the paperback there. She might have a couple of other goodies on the table, but come out and just wrap your arms around this amazing new children's author who has an amazing story to tell. And I'm so happy to be a part of this journey. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Lillian, and I love you. I'm
thank
publicly
you.
saying I love you, sis.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we've come to the end of the show. It's
Gosh,
time.
that time flew by quickly.
It really did. Well, no, once again, don't forget, come out to the National Black Book Festival. It will be at Fallbrook Church in Houston, Texas. On Friday, you get to meet all of the authors, but on Saturday, we are going to be meeting the featured authors right here: Eric LaSalle, April Ryan, Kiki Swinson. Oh my goodness, Rachel Hazel Hall, Brandon Massey, Brenda Jackson, and Beverly Jenkins. Brenda Jackson and Beverly Jenkins, you never get to see these two ladies together, but we are fortunate enough to have these two ladies together at the National Black Book Festival. This is going to be a year to remember. So make sure you come out. I know it says October 23rd through the 25th. The 23rd is going to be the opening dinner. On the 24th and 25th are the actual festivals. It's free to get in, and we want to see you there. We want to see you there. So do not forget, come out, and then make sure you stop by Lillian Ebanks Joseph's table and just congratulate her and support her, and pick up a book. Yes, pick up your books. All right. So thank you once again for being on the show.
Thank you.
We're gonna have a good time. I'm gonna see you in a couple of days. Oh my
Absolutely. So
goodness.
safe travels to you and looking forward to seeing your beautiful face in person.
I'm looking forward to seeing you. God bless you. And we're
Thank
gonna
you.
talk soon.
All right. Goodbye. Have a good evening.
You too. Bye-bye. All right, y'all. We have reached the end of the Horizons Author Lounge. I hope you all had a great time. I told you we had two wonderful authors tonight. Um, Both of them have brand new work coming out. Both of them will be presenting their work at the National Black Book Festival. I will also have a new book at the National Black Book Festival. So if you have not heard about my new book, Surprise Swipe Right, this is my new holiday rom-com, and I'm so excited about it. I've been getting great reviews on it. And the book actually comes out on October 28th. However, I've already kind of sold some books because we've been doing pre-orders. Pre-orders are going to continue up until October 28th. But if you come to the National Black Book Festival, you'll be able to get a physical copy of the book for the pre-order price. So I really would love to see you guys there. This is my last show before the National Black Book Festival. We will be on hiatus next Monday. And then on the first Monday in November, I'm going to be introducing you to a whole new set of authors that you have got to meet because they're doing some amazing things within copyright, within the literary industry, and I'm going to tell you all about it. So just stay in touch. Some great things happening. If you haven't done so already, make sure you're following the Meet the World Image Solutions YouTube page. We are growing the page. We are now over 1,000 subscribers, so we're heading to that 2,000 mark, and it's all because of you guys. So that's all I have for tonight, guys. God bless you. I will see you on Thursday night at the National Black Book Festival opening reception, and then I'll see you on Friday and Saturday at the actual festival. Thank you. God bless you. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.